Nightmare experience in New York City. Oh man,
The events
I
in the
feel bad
story
for
take
certain
place
women,
over the
bro.
course of a few nights.
It's crazy.
Before we get there, I need to provide a little bit of backstory. My husband and I had just moved to New York City, like right in the heart of the city. The apartment was breathtaking. I kept thinking that it was a loft apartment you would see in a movie or a television show. My husband was
New York
fortunate
is
enough
nice
to land
though,
a
but it's just
well-paying
like
job that
crowded,
allowed us
bro.
to afford this beautiful apartment. My favorite part was the view. At night, you could see all the lights from the city out of the windows. It didn't take long for my husband to make some friends at work. He's a very social person, and being in sales for a decade makes it easy for him to
Why he
strike up a
look, bro?
conversation with
What's up with
anyone.
that guy,
Almost a year into living in the city, we had our weekend crew that we would hang out with
bro?
routinely. We would have
Look like
dinner,
you up to
play
no
games, or
good,
just have some drinks with Becky and Jim, as well as another couple, Jason and Liz. But my husband's best friend from the city was a man named Eric. Eric did not have a significant other, but never came alone.
bet.
He always had a friend that he would bring.
Now he
He
looking
would
at my
always
wife.
joke with me and my husband, "Don't worry, guys. You never have to worry about me being the third wheel." This turned into a reoccurring joke, and Eric was almost referred to as this third wheel.
Oh
One
no.
night after one of our little get-togethers, my husband and I were getting ready for bed. We talked for a while, but I'm pretty sure I fell asleep mid-sentence. I woke up at some point in the middle of the night. I didn't look at the time, but it was still dark, so before 5 a.m. if I had to guess. I heard a noise, and I know that it's what woke me up. I just laid in bed, feeling a bit uneasy, and looked
Wake
up in
me
the
up.
dark
I'm
room.
right here.
I thought I could see
Whoa,
a figure of
my guy.
some kind in the
Who
corner of
is
the room.
that?
The more I tried to focus, the more and harder it was to see.
Um,
I felt as if though I could almost hear something like breathing.
bro, I'm right next to you, bro. Give me a little nudge, bro. Hey, grab that bat under the pillow. Hey, we can tag me in. Tag me in. I already seen him. Tag me in. I'm about to go handle him.
Or wheezing.
Bro, you just seen the shadow
After a few
get
minutes,
up.
I felt much better and chalked it
That's a
up to some kind
man.
of vivid nightmare and rolled over back to bed. I was too scared in the moment to look and didn't want to wake my husband up for something that was probably just a giant overreaction.
Nah, you wasn't even
The
sleep
next night came
paralysis. You was
and
able to
same
move.
story. We went to bed at around 11. I didn't tell my husband about the events of the night before. Again, I was awoken in the middle of the night. This time I looked at the time and it was shortly after 4 a.m.
Oh
I could for
man,
sure
what
hear
the?
breathing this time. I looked around the room from the bed, but this time I couldn't see any figures like I did the night before. I could just hear the breathing and it felt so close.
He's
I tried
under the
waking up my husband, but he
bed.
was out cold. I didn't try awfully hard because he had to wake up in about an hour for work. I didn't sleep well the
Nah, I
rest
would
of
have
the
went to
night,
work with
and I
him. No
woke
way
up
I'm
with
just
him in the
staying in the crib
morning
like that. I'm
and
here
did not want
breathing.
to stay in the bedroom alone when he left. I moved to the living room and slept on the couch for a couple of hours. The day was miserable. I couldn't shake the weird feeling for the entire day. Around 2 in the
Cause the weird
afternoon, I took a
feelings from that
shower.
crib.
When I turned the shower off and was drying my hair in the bathroom, I heard something from outside the bathroom door. I froze in paranoia in the bathroom and listened with my ear to the door, but heard nothing. Finally, I worked up the courage to leave the bathroom and felt a minor moment of relief when I was in fact still alone in the apartment. Shortly after 5, my husband came home from work and I told him about the events of the last 2 nights.
Bro,
At first he laughed as if though I were telling him a joke.
no,
Once he
my bro.
realized how freaked
You
out I
have to
was,
leave.
he then
I'm gonna
began to
call the
try and
cops,
rationalize what I
and they're gonna
could
have
have
to
been
search this
seeing and hearing.
premises.
I have to say, I was insulted because he even suggested that maybe I had too much to drink, but that was not the case whatsoever.
Are
He
you
then said in a
dumb?
reassuring voice, "Listen, if it happens again, just wake me up,
It
and
happens
I'll search the
again?
room."
No, let's search the room
This
now.
actually did give me some relief that I was able to talk to him about it. However, I was still anxious that I would hear or see something again.
No, bro. Now let's
That night
search the
came
let's
quickly,
search
and
the
I was so
crib down.
tired from the previous night that I fell asleep even though I was practically petrified to go to bed. Again, right around 3:30 in the morning, I woke up to the sound of breathing, and it was undeniable at this point. I looked around the room and saw nothing, just like the previous night. I woke up my husband and
Good.
told him
Yep.
to listen. He said he could hear the breathing too.
Bet.
He
Now we
sprang
on the
from the
same
bed
page?
and turned on the
Yep.
light. There was thankfully nobody standing in the room. That brief moment of solace
Check
ended
them
quickly
curtains.
when that nightmare came true.
And check
My
that
husband
bed.
walked over to the walk-in closet, and emerging from under the bed was our friend Eric. He sprinted towards my husband, who was now in the closet,
Go handle
and
him!
tackled him. I screamed in panic, absolutely freaking out. I jumped from the bed and tried to make a run for the door. My plan was to just yell in the hallway until
Oh
someone hopefully
my
heard me.
gosh. I wish my...
I didn't even make it to the door before Eric had caught me. I
No
screamed
way
as
you
loud
handle
as I
my...
could,
No
and
way you handle her
thankfully,
husband
in a
like
quick
that.
moment, my husband sprang out and
Eee!
tackled Eric in return. I ran to the cell phone
Oh,
and
you
called the
kissed
police.
that man's foot,
My husband is a
cuz.
fairly large man and was able to get Eric to the ground and keep him there and subdue him until the cops showed up.
I'm about
To
to
the
say, no
police's
way you
credit,
finished
they
off her
showed up
husband that
incredibly
quick.
fast. My husband only had minor scrapes and bruises, but had a pretty big knot on his head. When the cops were arresting Eric, we could hear him saying, "I didn't want to be the third wheel anymore. I didn't want to be the third wheel anymore." What's even more disturbing is that he told the police he was inside of our apartment for a couple of days.
Bro.
He had somehow stolen my husband's key and made a copy of it.
Bro, you a freak
He was
boy.
apparently
You really made
breaking
a
into
copy
the
of it.
apartment for weeks, but had been staying during the night for the last few days. I'm not sure why he didn't try anything while we were sleeping or any of the times myself or my husband were alone in the apartment. It still freaks me out thinking that this man was inches from where I slept.
Bro, what's up with
We're now
these-
back in my hometown,
These
not living in the
dudes,
city
bro.
anymore. The terror
Some
you
of these
feel being
dudes,
trapped
and
that
some of these
high up in the
people in
sky
general would just be
with nowhere to
wild.
run has made me extremely claustrophobic. You never know what people are capable of, even people you consider close friends. The police did inform us that Eric stated he didn't intend to hurt either one of us that night, but the look in his eyes told us a completely different story.
You dove under the bed, my guy. You dove from under the bed and started choking her husband.